I am Sophie, and I am 25 years old, living in the beautiful, often very rainy city of Vancouver. My days usually begin before the sun has even considered making an appearance, stirring from a dream I can never quite remember, but always leaves a faint whisper of something better. I work at a busy little coffee shop near Gastown, the kind with the strong smell of espresso clinging to everything, a comforting scent on most days. My shift starts early, usually at 5 in the morning, which means my alarm goes off when the city is still dark and quiet. I navigate the damp streets, often under a sky heavy with clouds, carrying my dreams like a secret weight in my backpack, alongside my worn coffee shop apron. My hands are always busy, making lattes, steaming milk, wiping counters, but my mind is usually a flurry of calculations and longing. My biggest dream, the one that keeps me going, is to open my own small flower shop. Not a fancy one, just a cozy corner filled with the scent of fresh blooms, a place where people can find a little bit of beauty on a gloomy day. But that dream, it feels miles away. Rent in Vancouver is steep, and even with working nearly 45 hours a week, sometimes more, I barely have enough left over after bills to even think about saving for a business. Every time I tuck a few dollars away, an unexpected expense pops up like a surprise rainstorm. A sudden increase in the cost of my shared apartment, a necessary repair for my aging phone, or a small medical bill. It feels like I am constantly running in place, always working hard, always moving, but never quite getting ahead. This constant struggle, this quiet fear that my dream is just a foolish fantasy, is my internal nemesis. It whispers doubts in my ear when I am tired, when I see other people easily buying the flowers I long to arrange, telling me I am not good enough, that I will never escape this cycle. The endless gray skies of Vancouver often feel like a mirror to the gray anxiety in my heart, a constant reminder of the weight I carry. I try, though. Oh, I try so hard. I pick up every extra shift offered, even when my feet ache and my back protests. I stopped buying new clothes, learned to cook simple, cheap meals, and found joy in free activities like walking along the seawall, even in the drizzle. I even started growing small succulents on my tiny balcony, hoping one day they could be part of my shop, a little piece of my dream already blooming. I always try to be kind to others, too, because I know how hard life can be. I often give a regular customer a free cookie when they look down, or hold the door for someone struggling with groceries, or even just offer a genuine smile. I saw so many people caught in sudden downpours, shivering at bus stops, and a small idea started to form in my mind, something about shared umbrellas. But the idea always felt too big, too expensive, another thing I couldn't afford to make real. Then came the month that truly pushed me to my breaking point. I had managed, through sheer willpower and a lot of ramen, to save up a small, precious amount of money. It wasn't enough to open a shop, but it was a start, a tangible step toward my future, a tiny sunbeam breaking through the clouds. I was so proud of it, picturing the first few bundles of fresh tulips I would buy with it. But then, my younger sister, who lives a few provinces away, called with devastating news. She had a sudden, unexpected medical emergency, and while her insurance would cover most of it, there was a significant deductible she just couldn't afford. My heart sank. My family means everything to me, and there was no question about what I had to do. I transferred every single dollar of my hard-earned savings to her. It was the right thing to do, the only thing to do, but it felt like watching my dream turn to mist and vanish. That day, after I sent the money, the rain in Vancouver seemed to fall harder than ever before. It wasn't just rain, it was a deluge, a relentless downpour. I left work early, the coffee shop's warmth feeling stifling, and stepped out into the storm. My old, cheap umbrella, the one with a bent spoke and a tear in the canopy, was no match for it. The wind ripped it from my hand, turning it inside out before it snapped completely. I just stood there on the corner of Main Street, water streaming down my face, mixing with the tears I couldn't hold back anymore. My clothes were soaked, my hair plastered to my head, and my heart felt like a hollow, empty ache. The bus was late, the world felt cold and indifferent, and I just wanted to give up. My dream of a flower shop, of bringing beauty into the world, seemed utterly impossible. I was 25, exhausted, broken, and standing alone in a relentless rainstorm, with no umbrella and no hope. Just when I thought I couldn't stand another second of the cold, wet misery, a figure appeared beside me at the bus stop. I hadn't even noticed them approach. They were an older woman, perhaps in her late 60s, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Without a single word, she simply extended the umbrella she was holding, tilting it so that its wide, sturdy canopy now covered both of us, offering me shelter from the deluge. The rain continued to fall around us, but under that umbrella, it felt like a small, dry island of peace. She didn't ask why I was crying, didn't offer advice, just stood there, a quiet presence, sharing her warmth and protection. It was such a small thing, such a simple gesture, but in that moment, it felt like the most profound act of kindness I had ever experienced. It was as if a tiny crack of sunlight had pierced through my internal storm clouds. Her hand, holding the umbrella, was steady and warm, and it radiated a silent message. You are not alone. That moment, under the stranger's umbrella, shifted something deep inside me. It reminded me that even when everything feels broken, kindness can still shine through. I thought of my discarded umbrella, and then I remembered my fleeting idea about shared umbrellas. The next day, after buying the cheapest, brightest umbrella I could find, I started. I painted a tiny, cheerful flower on it, added a note that said, "If you need me, take me. When you're done, share me," and left it at the bus stop where I had met the kind stranger. Then I bought another, and another, using what little spare change I had, and I started leaving them in key spots around the city, often near bus stops or park benches, places where people often got caught in the rain. I called them kindness umbrellas. My flower shop dream wasn't forgotten, but it had changed. I realized that my dream wasn't just about selling flowers. It was about spreading joy and beauty, and this was a way to start, a way to pay forward that unexpected kindness. Slowly, incredibly slowly at first, the idea caught on. People started using the umbrellas, and some, to my immense surprise and delight, started returning them or even leaving their own spare ones. Local cafes and small businesses, seeing my cheerful, flower-painted umbrellas, offered to be drop-off and pick-up points. News spread through word of mouth, then through local social media. Volunteers came forward, offering to help collect, clean, and distribute the umbrellas. My little side project, born from a moment of despair and a stranger's generosity, had blossomed into a small, community-driven movement. It felt like every time I put an umbrella out, a little piece of my own hope was blooming too. And then, one rainy afternoon, a woman who owned a small art gallery saw me placing umbrellas outside her shop. She recognized me from my coffee shop and had heard about the kindness umbrellas. She had a small, unused back room in her gallery, perfect for an artist or a small business just starting out. She offered it to me at a fraction of the market rate, impressed by my dedication to the umbrella project. That's how Sophie's Petals of Hope came to be. It's a small flower shop, cozy and filled with light, even on the rainiest days. The back wall is dedicated to the kindness umbrellas, a rotating collection of colorful, well-loved umbrellas ready for anyone to borrow. The shop isn't just a place to buy flowers, it's a hub for connection, a warm spot where people share stories and a little bit of kindness. We have expanded the Kindness Umbrella program significantly. It's now a well-known citywide initiative, managed by a wonderful team of volunteers, with hundreds of umbrellas in circulation. Sometimes, when a new umbrella comes in, I still paint a tiny, cheerful flower on it, a reminder of how it all began. Just last week, on a particularly blustery Vancouver afternoon, an elderly woman stepped into my shop, seeking refuge from a sudden squall. She carried a sturdy, dark blue umbrella, folded neatly. She bought a small bouquet of forget-me-nots, admiring the warmth of my shop and the kindness umbrella display. As she paid, she smiled, a kind, gentle smile that seemed to crinkle the corners of her eyes in a familiar way. As she turned to leave, her umbrella slightly damp, I noticed a tiny, almost invisible, embroidered silver butterfly on its handle. It was the same unique detail I had glimpsed on the umbrella that had sheltered me all those years ago, on the day I thought my world was ending. I caught my breath, but she was already gone, stepping back out into the rain, the forget-me-nots cradled carefully in her arms. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest ripples, and sometimes, those ripples find their way back to you, proving that hope, like a persistent flower, will always find a way to bloom.